This is the Rural Homelessness Podcast, where we discuss the important issues around rural homelessness, hear from those affected by it, and offer some solutions. Brought to you by the award-winning homelessness charity, the Ferry Project. Welcome to the Rural Homelessness Podcast. Hello and welcome to this episode of the Rural Homelessness Podcast. I'm your host, Matt McChlery. Thank you so much for joining me today, and thank you for joining in the discussion around rural homelessness and helping to elevate it amongst the sort of the national conversation in the UK at the moment, because rural homelessness really is a problem for us here in the UK, and it's something that we need to talk about more. Now, in just a moment on today's episode, I'm going to be chatting with a resident of the Ferry Project called Kieran, and he is going to be sharing with us his experiences of being homeless, as well as the support and help that he has been given here at the Ferry Project. But before I do, I just wanted to remind you or let you know that we now have a mailing list. If you want to be kept up to date with everything that's going on with the podcast, or indeed the Ferry Project charity in general, do head over to our website, ferryproject.org.uk, and go to the contact page, and there's a button you can click on to sign up to our mailing list to be kept up to date with everything that's going on. So do head over there and do that in just a moment, once you've finished listening to this, obviously. So here is Kieran sharing his story with us. So Kieran, thank you very much for joining us today, and welcome to the podcast.
No problem. Thank you very much for having me.
Just to start off with then, could you just tell us a little bit about what life was like for you before coming to the Ferry Project?
I was married in 2010. Had a son with through IVF, which was difficult, and had a moment, as everyone does, caught her with my so-called best friend in bed when I came home from work, and it went downhill from there. Ended up on the streets for a little while. A friend who I've known for a long time took me in. Stayed there for nearly 7 years. Unfortunately, ill health got better of him. Got took into a full-time care home. The property had to be sold to compensate for that. I ended up back on the street and trying to find a place with a nightmare. References, credit checks, couldn't get it. And last hope was council, and they finally got me in the Ferry Project. I had ups and downs at the start, as everyone does. Got kicked out a couple of times through like threatening behaviour, because I wasn't used to the help. Always kept thinking, what do they want, what they're after, what they're trying to do to me. But in the long run, I've now been here 2 years. I can't thank them enough. They have done so much for me, and there's no words to express what they've done. Really, seriously. I'm now halfway moving on, and that's down to these. I've done a computer course, beginners, Essentials 1, programming, maintenance and repairs. I'm now starting at Essentials 2, which is intermediate, a bit more difficult. But if I hadn't come here, I wouldn't have been on that either. They help with medical. If I had problems myself, it'd be fantastic. It's been an uphill battle, but now it's getting a little bit easier. It really is. Losing members of family been difficult, and going through rocky patches as everyone does, but they're there to help. And I would recommend them all day long.
That's great. So going back to when you were homeless, what was that experience like for you?
Hard, difficult. People just looking at you walk past as if you're nothing, and that's horrible. When you were something for years and made yourself something, for 20, 30, 40 years. And then you hit that. To me, it's like degrading. People just look at you and go, son, look at you, can't be bothered. It's not the fact you can't be bothered, it's the fact unfortunate things happen. And as a result, sometimes it goes that way. Or you might be fortunate, and fortune will straight away. It's difficult. You know, you're scared to sleep at night in case somebody robs you. Trying to find your next meal. You know, trying to get yourself clean. It's horrible.
And how easy was it for you to like try and access services and things to help you when you were?
It was difficult because not knowing who to turn to. When you've done everything yourself and not relied on people, it's hard to know where to go, who to turn to, and what to look for. And the last resort was the council to see if they knew. And this is where I'm as a real.
Yeah. And what would you say was one of your biggest challenges that you faced when you were homeless?
God,
and I'm sure there were many.
Challenges were trying to find some way to get your head down, making sure you're safe, but you're still scared to sleep at night in case you got robbed, in case it kicked you to death. Trying to get clean.
Yeah.
It's so difficult.
And how did you come to know about the services or the Ferry Project, for example? How did that connection happen for you?
I didn't know nothing about the ferry. Nothing. I had no knowledge until I went to the council, and the council paid for the taxi, got me in here, and I'm still in now.
Yeah. I know being homeless is incredibly difficult and stressful, but were there any times when, I know you've said that a lot of people kind of looked down on you or kind of pretended that you didn't exist.
Yes.
But were there some instances where there were some people who were actually kind and tried to offer help, or not really? What's your experience?
Been a couple, yeah. There's not many people out there that would nowadays.
Correct.
Not like back in the day. Everything seemed to change. It's getting faster. People were moving quicker. They try to get from A to B too quick. You know, they just don't even second glance you nowadays.
So you've been to the council.
Yep.
They've put you in touch with Ferry Project. So on first coming to the Ferry Project then, what was that like for you? How did you feel when you first kind of walked through the doors?
I didn't know what to expect. You know, I really had no knowledge of the place, hadn't even heard of it. You know, and it's like a big building. You think, wow, you know, what's going to happen? All kinds of things go through your mind. You know, and they're great, they're polite, they help. You know, I didn't know where to go when I first came here.
And did it take you a bit of time to settle?
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah. Definitely.
You've already mentioned some of the computer skills that you've been helped with here. Are there other things that they've helped you with? Like training or
That's
cooking or whatever, I don't know.
I'm a chef myself. We did a cooking thing here, and I took part in that. They loved it.
Oh, brilliant.
I've done it over where I am now. Cooked them like what I cook up, and get started. Loved it. But that's what I do. I look after those that look after me. And that's how it should be with everybody, but it ain't. You know.
Great. Since you've come to Ferry Project, what would you say some of your highlights of your experience have been? What are you most proud of during your journey?
How far I've come. Well, I've been rock bottom to where I am now. Meeting new good friends, knowing that there are genuine people out there. You know, it's hard finding them, but they're there. You know, but,
yeah, that's great. From your experience being a homeless person or once yourself, do you think people in the general public, people generally, have misconceptions about homelessness and those who experience it?
Yeah, I think they do, because sometimes when you're in a busy crowd you see people walk past a homeless person, they blame them for being homeless, and it's not always their fault. Yes, there are people out there that can't be bothered, and there's genuine people that don't want to be on the street, that are trying to get off the street. So it's a bit of mix and match, really.
Yeah.
You know, if they got the gossip like that, why don't you just ask them? Why don't you just try and help them?
And what would be one of the things you'd like to say to people about
Don't judge them. Don't judge them, because it's not always their fault they're homeless. There's a reason behind it. There's always a reason for it. Don't judge them, Matt. Go to them. Talk to them. You know, it don't cost them. Never judge a person until you get to know them. Then make your mind up. Not before you know them, because you don't know them. Go to them.
That's good advice. Thank you. You shared a bit about what life was like and the sort of circumstances around becoming homeless, then coming into the Ferry Project and being helped. What's life like now? Where are you at now?
Halfway. So the way I look at life is I almost fell off the ladder. Coming here was the first step. To where I am, second step. Doing computer course, third step. Then once you get my own property, that's where I'm at. So I'm edging up all the time, moving forward, not down.
That's good. And where would you see yourself? What are your hopes for the future?
Just to get my own place and settle for life, instead of keep going on the street and moving here, there, and everywhere. There's no life. You know, I'm not getting no younger. You know, so. But it's been hard. But there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
Even though if you can't see the light, it is there. And you'll always find it. You just need a bit of support, a bit of help. Ask for it, it don't cost. You know, but please help. I asked the council for help. And I've never asked anyone for anything. And that was the first time of that too. And they help. Always, if you're in trouble, just ask. Go to your local council. And they will have the information or help, or they will help you get somewhere. Even if it's shared, it doesn't matter. It's a roof, it's warm, it's a bed, food, drink. You're not on the street. Just ask for it.
Well, that's great. And just as we're coming to the end of our chat, could you just sum up how the Ferry Project has helped you and the difference it's made in your life?
They are so supportive. If you're feeling down, they're there. Come on, have a chat. You know, there's courses, there's education here, there's artwork, there's so many different variety of things, and they will help you find it. They helped me to do this computer course, as where I am unable to do my original work. You know, landscaping, forklift driver, can't do nothing. So I've turned myself to something else I can still do. You know, so it's there. Just ask. These are fantastic. Absolutely. There's no words. I owe them my life. That's all I can say on the matter. But if there's anyone out there that is stuck, go to your own council or come to the Ferry. Simple. Just ask for the help.
And that's very, very key, I think, being able to ask for help.
But it doesn't cost nothing to ask anybody. Okay, I'm about to bite me pride. And it didn't thingy me. Yes, I thought it did, but it didn't. Bite your pride. Go to them. They're there to help. And they will help. It's just asking. So
that's great. Well, thank you, Kieran. Thank you for sharing your story with us today and your experiences. And I wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And a very big thank you to Kieran for sharing his story with us today. Now, we have changed his name. His name isn't really Kieran. He just asked us to help keep his identity anonymous. So we've respected his wishes and we've done that for him. So that's what we're doing there. But thank you so much for listening. Do join us again either on the 1st or the 15th of the month, where we will be having another informative episode all about rural homelessness, discussing problems and possible solutions. So do join us again really soon. Thank you and goodbye. Thank you for listening to the Rural Homelessness Podcast, brought to you by the Ferry Project. Visit our website on www.ferryproject.org.uk.